Shalom everyone, it's called Torah, it's Tuesday at noon, and today's parasha that we're going to discuss will be Parashat Ekev. Ekev means a hill, or like an indirect Ekev, or because. Different interpretation really for one word. But today I would like to discuss an interesting verse that the Torah presents to us. The Torah says that you should know, v'zacharta, and you should remember, את כל הדרך, the entire journey, אשר הוליכך השם אלוקיך במדבר, זה 40 שנה, that God took you through this journey for 40 years. So why do I need to remember it? Why God took me for 40 years in the desert, and why is that important for me? So the Torah says, למען ענותך, in order to afflict you, לנסותך, to try you, to test you, to put us on trial in a way, לדעת את אשר בלבבך, to know what is in your heart. התשמור מצוותיו אם לא. Would you keep his commandments or not? So let's digress for a second. Let's just take a step back and let's think about this verse. It's a very interesting verse. We know that we were wandering around for 40 years because God punished us. Because of Chet HaMeraglim, the sin of the spies. We know that Hashem said to us immediately after this terrible night when the Meraglim, the spies, came back, at that day, and they reported badly on the land of Israel. The Jewish people cried, and they didn't want to go into the land of Israel, and Hashem said, Yom lashana, a day for a year, or really a year for a day. The Meraglim, the spies, went for 40 days. Therefore, you will circle around the desert, basically around yourself for 40 years. So this is the reason. This is the reason. And if you will ask me, why should I remember it? Perfectly, I have an answer. I need to remember the 40 years journey in the desert in order not to repeat the mistake of bad-mouthing the land of Israel, of not willing to go to the land of Israel. So why this pasuk says you should remember this entire journey for 40 years in the desert? And you know why? Because God wanted to afflict you, to test you, to know what is in your heart. So in order to maybe present an interesting solution, let's ask ourselves a very simple question. Who likes tests? And the first response will be no one. It puts pressure, distress. Sometimes there is too much competition. So who like tests? Nevertheless, when you think about the word test in Hebrew, is not only a mivchan, but it's also nisayon, from the word nes. Nes is not only a miracle, but also in Hebrew, nes is a degel, is a flag. So what does that mean? Every test that is being presented to us, and every test that we are being tested with or experience has a reason. We don't know the direct reason why we get A for B. And if someone tells you that he knows, I'm not sure you can trust him or her. But we know for sure one thing, that there are no coincidences, and there is nothing that happens just happens. There are reasons for things. There is a background. There are things that somehow follow a logical sequence. And we believe in Hashem. We believe that things that happens to us has a message for us. Not a reason, but a lesson, a message. Something that we can learn from it. So what the Torah does, the Torah takes the 40 years in the desert that were the punishment for Chet HaMeraglim, but the Torah gives us the depth of the true perspective. Chet HaMeraglim, the sin of the spies, was not an insular incident. It was in a way a pattern. The Jewish people of the desert just couldn't grasp the idea that they are independent. They couldn't grasp the idea they are being tested. that couldn't grasp the idea that their faith is going to be challenged on a daily basis. They just couldn't. So when they heard the Meraglim, the spies, bad-mouthing the land of Israel, they just couldn't stand it, and they wanted to go back to Egypt. Leman anotcha lenassotcha. It's in order to test you, says Hashem. Chet HaMeraglim, the sin of the spies, was obviously their choice, but it presented a test to the Jewish people. Would you believe in me, says Hashem? Or you will say, no, we're going to believe those 10 spies. They were there, they know. What would you do? And Hashem says to us, this test was to reveal ladat, to know et asher bilvavcha, to know what is in your heart. You know, there is one thing to say the big words and to give the big speeches and to be what I call the coach. You know, we are here to win and we are here to do good and all those beautiful speeches. But what is in your heart? Ladat et asher bilvavcha, to know what is in your heart. This is the test. Ha'im piv velibo shaviv, if his mouth and his heart are equal. We all can do the big talk. But what about the heart? What about the true beliefs, the true faith, the true conviction and commitment? Do you have it or you don't have it? And this is the purpose of a trial, the purpose of a test, according to the Torah. The Torah teaches us, don't look only on symptoms. Yeah, 40 years in the desert because of 40 days, the Meraglim, the spies. It's more than that. It's to know really what is in your heart. And that's what Moshe says to the Jewish people. You are going to go to the land of Israel. You are going to hear a lot of noise, a lot of going on around you. But you need to concentrate. You need to know what is in your heart. Because if you know what is in your heart, you'll do good. You'll do well. Tishmor mitzvotav. You will keep God's commandments. And you will follow the right path. And you will be successful. Thank you.